Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to wire wrap this Tourmaline gemstone, and this is what it looks like in its unwrapped state. It is 3.5 centimeters in length and 2.7 centimeters in width. To decide on the length of wires that I'm going to use, I first use a piece of cord to measure around the stone. To begin, I measure 2 inches on the cord, then place it above the stone. Then take the cord to the other side. Then I use a ruler to measure the cord. So this is 10.5 inches, and this will be for the base wire. Afterward, I'll just straighten the wire and cut the length that I'm going to use. For the weaving wire, I add an extra 1.5 inches, so the weaving wire is 12 inches and the base wire is 10.5 inches. I've linked all the items used in the description box. The weaving wire is 24 gauge and the base wire is 16 gauge. To begin, I place the ends of the weaving wire together and I ensure that one end is longer than the other. The longer end is about 1 centimeter longer, and I then pull on the middle of the wire, and I'm just going to go ahead and do the same to the others. Next, I'm going to wrap the 24 gauge weaving wires around the 16 gauge base wire. So you place the shorter end of the wire, the weaving wire, in front and the longer end behind. Then you wrap the longer end over the weaving wire twice, and just while holding down the shorter end with your thumb and your index finger. Then you just go ahead and add the rest of the wires just the same. When you are done placing the weaving wires onto the base wire, this is what it is going to look like. Then push the wires together and place them in the center of the base wire. Next, we're going to use our chain nose plier to squeeze down the wires onto the base wire, and this will prevent them from moving around. Next, we're going to shape the base wire. You place your chain nose plier right here, then twist your dominant hand away from you to bend the wire like this, and you go ahead and do the other just the same. Now I'm going to cross the base wire over like this so that I can bring the ends close to each other, and so that the base wire can sit at the back of the stone the way I want it to. And as you go along, you can place the base wire on the stone to make sure that it is sitting the way that you want it to. Next, I'm going to make the bail. So you bend your wire like this, and you do the other side just the same. Then you use your chain nose plier to kind of straighten the wire to bring the ends close to each other. This is what the base wire is looking like at this point. Now I'm going to use a 26 gauge wire for the weaving. You take your 26 gauge wire and you give yourself a small tail to hold on to with your thumb and your index finger. Then wrap it around the base wire 4 times. And you can use your thumb or your chain nose plier to bring the coils close to each other. Next, you take the weaving wire and you wrap it around both wires twice. 1, 2. Then take it back to the first wire and wrap it around that wire 4 times. If you've got any kink in your weaving wire, you can use the chain nose plier to smooth that out. So you take your weaving wire through the ends of the base wire and take it down and place it next to the other coils, and you want to do that 4 times. Then you wrap over both wires twice and you continue with the same pattern. I'm going to wrap until I've done 1.5 inches. And as you weave the wires together, use your chain nose plier to bring the coils close to each other and to also keep the base wires flat. Now that I've got the desired length, I'm going in with my flush cutter to cut the excess wire, and then I'm using the chain nose plier to squeeze the end of the wire down. Remember the tail of the wire that we started off with? We're going to trim the excess as well and use our chain nose plier to squeeze it down as well. For the weaving wires at the bottom, we're going to take 2 at a time and we're going to twist them together, and the twisting does not have to be tidy. It can be as messy as you want it to be. So you twist until you've got about 1 centimeter in length. And you can use your stone as a guide to see what it looks like. At this point, you place your base wire over the stone like so, at the part that you chose to be the back. And what I'm doing here, I'm just going to unravel some of this wire right here because I want it to be sitting on the stone like this. And then you kind of separate them and you bend them over the stone like I'm doing, and you want to make sure that you cannot see the base wire from the front. If your stone is moving around, what you can do is use a piece of painter's tape to tape around the stone and the base wire. Next, I'm going to twist the wires. I grip the wires and I twist them towards me. You can twist them away from you or towards you. Next, I'm going to separate the wires into 2 equal parts. Then twist them. And these, I'm going to separate them as well into about 3 to 4 different pieces. And once I've separated them, I'm also going to twist them as well. And once you've done that, you can go ahead and remove the painter's tape. And once you've done that, you place the stone back in. Next, I'm going to connect the weaving wire to the base wire. So you take the weaving wire individually and thread it under or over the base wire. I work from side to side because I noticed that doing so prevents the base wire from moving around. And you can use your chain nose plier to assist you with pulling the wires through. To secure the weaving wire to the base wire, I'm going to wrap them individually around the base wire twice. Then trim the excess and use a chain nose plier to squeeze the end of the wire down. And basically you're just going to wrap the weaving wires individually around the base wire until you get to the top. Now that we're at the top, I'm going to cross the wires over each other. I'm also going to shape the bail at this point because I'm going to use the wires at the top to secure the back of the bail. You can also go ahead and use something round to assist with shaping the bail. I'm using this marker. I'm going to wrap this weaving wire around the base wire at the bottom and the bail wire at the top. If your wire is moving out of place while you are wrapping, what you can do is use your index finger, as I'm doing, to prevent that wire from moving, to keep it in place. Now I'm using the flush cutter to trim the bale wire to make them even. Then I'm going to use the chain nose plier to loop them, then place them next to the base wire. And now that you've finished, the last thing that you need to do is take your chain nose plier and use it to kink the wires. I hope this will be easy for you to make, and if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section. I've linked all the items used in the description box, so you can check there to see the list of all the items I used. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.